So I wanted to come and talk to you today about how to put some oomph into those New Year's resolutions. It might seem a bit controversial because I went on yesterday and said why I don't make New Year's resolutions, but then I realised this morning that actually maybe I'm being a little bit mean, because maybe there's quite a lot of people out there that did make New Year's resolutions, and after listening to me yesterday they kind of just went, oh, right, what am I supposed to do with that? So I thought it would be only fair if I spoke to you about how to add some oomph into those New Year's resolutions that you've made, and how to keep them going, and how to try and achieve those goals. And this can apply to goals at any time, anywhere really. So it doesn't just have to be the New Year's resolutions that you make. So I would do work with a lot of people in business, whether that's entrepreneurs, people working in their own business, or people in quite large national and corporate business. And some of these tools will be quite well known. So the first thing really is to make sure that you are really clear on what your goals are, so that you know what it is that you want to achieve, what it is that you want to get out of this goal, how it's going to look, how will you know when you've got there. So be really specific, be really clear about that. And there's lots of kind of business models about goals. So the SMART goals, making it specific, measurable, achievable, relatable and targeted. And there are also other models as well, like the GROW model and things that's used quite a lot in coaching. And you can get in touch with me for some of those, or you can find a lot of those on the internet. But make them really, really specific about what it is that you want to achieve from that goal. Write it down, or draw up a plan of action. Put things together, break it down. When you've got what that's going to look like, how are you going to get there? What are the steps within that to be able to achieve that goal? So break it down, or make a list, or chunk it down. You know, if I show you around my office, which I'm not going to at the minute because I've just got everything wired up into a nice fancy new tripod that I've treated myself to. But I have kind of plans and lists on the wall, or I'll show you this one because it'll come off easy. So you won't be able to read it because it'll look back to front, but you know, this is my post-it kind of note of plans and things like that, and I fold them over when they're done because I know I'm going to come back and reuse this when I do some of my other work that'll have different plans to it. So that's my very basic. I know there might be project planners out there that do some very different ones, but make some real good plans, and that sits there on my wall and I work my way through it. So draw up that plan, make a list, you know, and even if it's about with a thing, your diet, or what you're eating and what you're changing, plan out your meals. If it's about losing weight, plan out the days and times that you're going to go to the gym or go for a run or whatever it is that you're going to do. Just, you know, write things on the calendar, plan them out a little bit. That also makes you more accountable, because then you've put it in writing. And maybe you've told people, or it's just there on display on the calendar in the kitchen, or you've told people at work and things like that, so that you are making yourself really accountable. So that's another great way to be able to achieve those goals. Take action on them. Don't just sit back and kind of wait for things to happen. You know, if I sat here and waited for clients to come to me, well, they might do, but actually I've taken steps anyway, because I've got my website and I've got to put out regular schedules on Facebook, and I do my blogs, and so that's all part of taking action. So do take that action, and do rather than kind of sitting back and hoping that it'll happen. I know there are lots of people that believe about the universe will create these things, but actually, even if you sign up to that, there's still a lot of work you need to do behind the scenes. You need to have the right mindset, you need to be giving out the right vibes. So you can't just sit back and hope that it's all going to fall into place, because really, it's not going to. Go back and look at your plans periodically. Now that might be every week, so I regularly plan out my meals, but sometimes I go, do you know what, that didn't work because it was too much of a rush, because we had to go, this one's there and that one's there, and I had an early client, and there's this and that and the next thing. So that kind of meal's not going to work. We need a different kind of meal for that day. You know, and if it's about going to the gym, review it. You know, did it work for you? Or was it one of them days that was really, really busy and that's just not the right day for going for you? Or did you get to the gym and you were there queuing because it's January and everybody else is there? You know, and you think you might be better going to maybe a class until things quieten down. Review them. It doesn't mean, oh my God, that's it, it's all over. Review them, adjust them, keep adjusting them, and make it work for you, okay? So that you examine them periodically. Now then, visualise how you want that to be. So if you are on a kind of losing weight, healthy eating, I don't know, going to the gym, cutting down on this, that and the next thing, maybe you can visualise how that's going to be for you. How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? If you're on some work successes, you know, so for me it is more, my stuff's much more about my business. How do I want that to look? How does it want to be for me? Where do I want to be sitting? What do I want to be doing? What type of people do I want to be talking to? What do I want to be talking about? How do I want to be doing that with my lovely new tripod and doing video stream? How do you want that goal to look? Really think about some of that detail in there. Now, some people think that this visualization thing, as I've said about the kind of universe stuff as well, they can sometimes sit hand in hand, sometimes separately. Sometimes people with this visualization, they go, oh, I can't be doing with any of that malarkey. I can't visualize that type of stuff. Let me tell you something. When I was 29, what a very large corporate employer sent me on a course for NLP, and I sat there in this massive conference room, hundreds of people, rows and rows of desks. This person sat at the front and they said, visualise, I don't know, something it was, something with a colour and something of this, that and the next thing, and I sat there and I was like, oh my God, what is this complete load of... It wasn't my thing then at 29. I was much more about just blooming get on with it, and you just work hard and you push hard and you can just do it all. A few years on, I am thinking very differently, because I have seen the benefits of what it can do when you really do work with your mindset. Okay, so if it's not your thing, you know, give it a go back, have a look at my blogs. I do blog about some of this stuff. I do blog a lot about mindset and about how to make these changes. I've blogged about visualization and things like that. So I do hear people saying, that doesn't work for me because I can't picture things. You don't have to picture things. You can go on how you are. What is that feeling? How are those clothes going to feel? How are you going to feel when you get up in the morning? Are you going to kind of, you know, leap out of bed? You know, are you going to be like, yeah, what's your diary going to look like? That's not some random airy-fairy image that you're trying to make up out of nowhere. What is that full diary going to look like for you when all of those appointment spaces are filled in? What's your bank balance going to look like when you log on to the internet, and the numbers? What do you want the numbers to look like? When you've either, you know, got all your clients or you've got that pay rise, you know? What clothes are you going to be wearing? How will you talk? How will you feel? Will it be shoulders back? Will it be head held high? So there is a lot more than just picture that image, you know, because a lot of people think, oh, picture that image, that's you sat on a beach, just sunning it every day, and then you're bored. Or maybe not. But whatever is in that kind of image, that visualization, it doesn't mean that it has to be this super all singing, all dancing, you know, image. It can be other bits. Pare it right down to things like bank balance, diary, how your desk looks when you're feeling organised. How does your house look when you've, I don't know, got afforded a cleaner? I don't know what it is. Really visualise it. And then each and every day, bring that into your mind. You can do that when you're brushing your teeth. Look in your own eyes, stand in front of the mirror when you're brushing your teeth, and think a little phrase about how you want that thing, whatever your thing is, to look like, feel like. I want to feel, I want to look like, I will. And then look into your own eyes. Granted, I was going to say it out loud. You can't say it out loud when you're brushing your teeth. That'll be a nightmare. But you could say it out loud at another time. So you can say these things out loud because that taps into a multi-sensory thing going on. So you're thinking it, you're speaking it, you're hearing it. So it's that multi-sensory thing that's going on, where you might say, I am really confident, I am going to achieve everything I set out to achieve today. You know, I am really positive in my mindset. Whatever it is, internet's full of affirmations. You can go and look them up. Or again, you can drop me a line. We can have a chat. We can see how we can work together with that type of thing as well. When you set those, when you're talking to yourself and about yourself with that visualization, jump into it, get into present time, present day. Don't just do I will, I want to. It's I am. So that you're absolutely already there. Rather than having it so far off in the distance that it's maybe never quite achievable. You're absolutely right in it. And do you know what? It doesn't matter if you don't believe it right at that present time. Keep going into it. That, you know, that full diary, that whether it is you on a beach, how those clothes feel. I am doing this. I am doing whatever it is that is in your mindset that you are there to do. So that you can really feel that you are achieving those goals. So be also aware of how it feels in your body when these things come up for you, and then notice what's going on for you with that, and just set aside the time. Set aside the time to reach your goals, to achieve your goals, to do a little bit of mindset work each and every day. And it doesn't have to be long. You can do it multitasking. Do it in the shower. Do it when you're on the loo. Do it when you're brushing your teeth. This is all doing it in the bathroom. That's a bit randomly weird, isn't it? You know, or when you've dropped the kids off at school, you know, just when you're on your way to the office, when you've just arrived at the office, give yourself 5 minutes when you've parked your car, or when you're on the train, so you're travelling to work, whatever it is. But set aside that time, and it doesn't have to be massive. When you can think about what these are, and you review them, and you do your affirmations and your visualization, and you think about what's going on in your body. Is that really niggly and uncomfortable? Does that make me feel tense? And then you can really keep working at these, and then they make them much, much more achievable. And of course, there's that constant review. So if something's not working for you, that's okay. It doesn't mean it's all over. Constantly review it. We're all a work in progress. So be that work in progress, and let your goals, your New Year's resolutions, your targets, let them be that work in progress too. Okay. So, hope that wasn't too much rambling. And that was really, really helpful for you. Drop me a note in the comments below if you're on now, or if you're looking back at this on the replay. Let me know how that feels for you. Let me know if you've got any questions, and if I'm answering some of the questions that you are looking at, because I'd really, really love to hear from you, whether that's on now or whether that's you listening to the replay. And let me know a really good time for you to be able to come back on and listen. Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.